It's the Mincel Intel, if you couldn't F Intel, and how we got bewitched by the Kirk Min spell. It just doesn't sit well, this should've happened sooner. Minifans get 80 shows, keep on laughing boomers. It's time for the new ones to explain how we arrived at the Church of Podcast Jesus, and now we see the light. Don't need a Steve or Mike just to make the evening right. We're bringing new school to YouTube and we keep it live. It's the Mincel Intel. It's the Mincel Intel. It's the Mincel Intel. It's the Mincel Intel. Intel.
Down one. Long extreme bike riding, take one. Motherfucker! Oh, fuck! Oh, God! Oh. I think I broke my arm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We have a very special guest today. I'm going to first bring in my lovely co-hosts. I got BA and Phil and my producer Will, and then our all right, guys, what's going on, everybody? Welcome.
Wrong restart. I have to restart that.
There we are.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Because you said me. I'm not going to be on screen. I'm not going to be on screen in the beginning.
Okay,
Jesus,
well, you could leave now, and then
yeah.
I just wanted to say hello to you, Dick. All right, so Steve, welcome. We're happy to have you.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
The mustache.
How are you?
The mustache is going to be one of the most short-lived experiments in facial hair. I think it's going to be gone very quickly. So I'll be back to brand new, which I guess is going to be clean shaven. Will be a better look for me now that Marty Walsh says we all have to wear masks if you're in the city of Boston. I don't know if you guys saw, but we now have a mandatory curfew and mandatory masks. So hopefully
I
I'll
did
get
not see that. I'm the only Mass resident, but I did not see that. I'm not in Boston, though.
Well, there you go. Hopefully I'll get a nice tight CO with my Greg Hill Show masks.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to do this just like we did last week with Zonka. We're just going to do a little bit of an interview, see how much time we run with that, maybe break into some news. So let's just start breaking down some of the interview. I'm going to do a couple of the first questions, then we'll jump around here. So first thing I want to know is just start with kind of what brought you into, journalism, producing at a young age. What age did you start, and how did that kind of lead you a spot to work with Howie Carr and all that stuff?
Yeah. So I went to Washington, D.C. right after I got done with college, and I ended up through family connections getting a job at a publishing company. I think I was the youngest, least well-paid employee of the entire publishing company. I was literally selling Laura Ingraham and Ann Coulter's books. But the company also did, they ran the newspaper Human Events. It's not around anymore, but I kind of freelanced for them, just writing stories because it's what I actually wanted to do. I had a couple of, just big kind of political stories. I wound up on the Drudge Report, got some attention, and figured, I might be able to make a go of this. And so I bounced around a little bit, just trying to freelance. I wrote for the Blaze and a couple of things. It was more just trying to force my way into political writing. I ended up coming back to Maine, and I got a job at the Maine Heritage Policy Center, which is a kind of a state level think tank. And so I did some journalism there, but I also did some, writing policy papers and that kind of thing. And then from there, I started doing some radio on the weekends, and I got invited to MC a roast of two morning radio guys, Ken Altschuler and Mike Violette. And I, just MC'd the roast like they do on Comedy Central, just kind of have stuff ready to make fun of everybody and rip on everybody. I think they thought I was going to do it just all right, and our next person is, and just call them up. And so I just made fun of everybody. And Howie ended up being, he was like the celeb roaster, like the big name there. And the day after that roast, his wife called me up and said, "Hey, we're going off on our own. We're going independent. Would you like to come with us and be a producer?" So I had never seen an audio board. I never didn't know any of the technical stuff. I just had to
ask.
none of that.
You had no audio producing.
No,
so you learned it on the go.
Yeah, I'd never even seen Adobe Audition, had no idea what it was about. None of that. Everything I learned from a producing standpoint, I've learned on the job over the last 6 years.
You didn't even have DEC's website to help you out with the mic stuff.
Exactly. I didn't have DEC to help me out.
And
I didn't have nickels worth of free advice.
And you didn't lie to Howie's wife to get the job, right?
I did not. I did not. No.
Okay. Just clearing it up.
So BA, you are the keeper of the lies, correct?
Oh yes.
All right.
Yeah,
well, hopefully we can sort that all out today.
We have a few. We have a couple. So
yeah, we have a couple.
Just a couple.
So you were with Howie Carr for a little while there. How long were you with Howie?
I think about 5 years. Maybe 4.5, 5 years. It was a good little run though. Yeah, and I started out as an associate producer, and then his longtime executive producer Sandy decided to take a job elsewhere, and I just kind of was promoted up the food chain.
And you did a lot of stuff when he was out. You kind of hosted the show by the end, pretty much. It kind of seems like too.
Yeah. I was his fill-in whenever he was out. It just made sense. You can pay somebody a couple of $1,000s to come in and fill in the show, but if I'm capable of doing it for 4 hours, and the people seem to enjoy it, so I'd stick with it.
Yeah. Did you have any rocky days? Like in the beginning, you said you had no producing a background before you even did it. Did you kind of, before you even started the show, kind of do everything you could, or did you have a rocky start?
I put a lot of time into it. I basically, when you're producing that show, I'd probably get into the studio around 9 or 10 o'clock and then leave at 7 p.m. So it would be a huge time commitment, doing a lot of prep, and then you do the show and basically go home. But I was kind of gradually worked into the level of responsibility. Like I wasn't dropped in day one executive producer running the board. I was kind of I basically started off screening phone calls and pulling audio cuts and doing stuff like that. So, but there were a few days when you feel like you're in over your head. I remember one time I filled in for Howie, and I went to my cousin's wedding out in California, and I caught a red-eye flight back, and I just didn't sleep at all on the flight. I got into Boston at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, no sleep whatsoever, and then I had to go to the radio show from 3 to 7. And 4 hours of radio is a long ass time. You got commercial breaks, and you could take calls and everything, but doing that on no sleep is just awful. That's something I'd want to repeat.
So did you at what point did you catch Kirk's eye? Because I know there has been mention that you worked for Kirk a couple times while you were with Howie, and that kind of led into to building a relationship with Kirk. So what caught Kirk's eye, or what was the first time you started working with Kirk?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably a better question for Kirk, but I think it's probably started during the Kevin Cullen and the Boston Globe stuff, because that kind of overlaps with what we would talk about on Howie's show. So when they were doing their investigation of Kevin Cullen, we were obviously bringing it up on the show, and there were a couple of other things. And I think we just started DMing back and forth about the details of it, because I was obviously trying to help them bury the guy and wanted to see what we could talk about, what we knew, and then they would take audio of Howie talking about it, play it in their intro. So I think that's probably the first time that we met. And then when he was doing, in that kind of dark period where radio.com is telling him, you'll have your podcast, whatever, we'll do a show, we'll support you. And he didn't want to have to go into EEI to record. So I just helped him out and recorded a little bit out of Howie's studio. And there was a while there where we were trying to work out some kind of rental relationship where basically Entercom would just pay to use our studio space. And that kind of stalled out once it became apparent that Entercom was really just kind of, you've heard about the rubber rooms that they put teachers in because it's too expensive to fire them in New York City. So they just basically come into work, read a newspaper all day. That's basically what they've done with Kirk. They had no intentions of actually supporting him or giving him a show or anything. They were just kind of trying to put him off in a corner where he wouldn't be a trouble for him. And I think once he realized that, he kicked his way out. But yeah, that's kind of the process. Actually, initially, I recommended Dave Cullinane to him.
Oh yeah.
We're Cully guys, so we're big Cully guys.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So what kind of, I know when you started with Kirk, you were still with Howie. What kind of made that transition over that you decided, you know what, Kirk's the guy I'm kind of going with. I kind of like this world.
What made you think, Kirk was the next step?
I don't think I was prepared for the world at all. I don't think that there's any way that you could be prepared for this. I mean, it's wild and there's nothing like it. But I think that I was kind of bored with the politics and just the kind of routine of every single day from 3 to 7 doing a radio show. I was ready for something new, something exciting. The thing that we were talking about, I mean, if the vision had been able to come into being at radio.com, it would have been really cool. But once it became, going to Barstool, obviously that was very exciting. And I also think that like the spoken word format will always be around, but radio is kind of, it's dying. I mean, you look at Entercom's share price right now. I mean, that's for a number of other reasons, but radio is dying. And I think places like Barstool are really set up to succeed, especially with podcasts.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Also, if the cheese is right? If the cheese is right, I think someone said that once before.
You mean if the juice is worth the squeeze? Oh, if the cheese, yeah, okay, the money. Yeah.
So now we're kind of getting into the where you're getting hired by Kirk. So Phil has some questions from where we got with Kirk, and then basically this era that we're in for your career here. So Phil, you could take over right here.
Yeah, I mean, that's really general, but my questions are pretty stupid. They're not really that serious as John's questions, but
that's right, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to do the serious question.
We're slowly getting less and less serious.
Yeah, exactly.
And then really serious at the end.
Exactly. So my first question is basically, so on the show, when you first introduced Viewsgate, when you were asked, you said you thought it was me, Phil, because you said I look the most suspicious. And my question, Steve, my one question is why?
Hold up a mirror. Hold up a mirror. Come on.
It's funny because
it feels like there's an accusation there.
A little bit. It wasn't coming from me though. It was coming from people on Twitter, man. Everyone heard it.
Honestly, I never really even heard you talk. I was just like, I mean, it had to be one of the three of you. So I picked the one that no one was picking at that time. It'd be too obvious.
I don't think it helped his cause.
I
don't think it helped his cause that when the day you guys were calling us, I got the message in the morning and you're like, listen, give me your numbers. I need the calls. And you try to call Phil. And apparently I gave you the wrong number for Phil. So it just kept
did
going.
not.
Yeah.
So
I think
we made it into a little controversy.
Yeah, in the message, I think I had the same number for BA twice. So we ended up calling them to get that bill. And we're like, why is he dodging us? Why is he asking tough questions? I don't know. It looks suspicious to me.
Well, Steve, John kind of waffled at the question when you said, BA said it was you, and he kind of turtled there. But I didn't get faced. So what do you have to say about that?
It's true. Some people are more susceptible to my Jedi mind tricks than others.
It was.
John fell for it.
It wasn't the Jedis I was looking for. That's all I have to say. Go ahead, Phil.
So my next question, this came from a Minifan on Discord, but can you still dunk? And who would you say you modeled your skills from? The Minifan thought that you seem like a Vitaly Potapenko type.
No, I cannot dunk. I think I can probably grab the rim, but I spent way too much time when I was in high school trying to work on my jump at the expense of like being a good basketball player. I ended up getting like
actual game, yeah.
Yeah, I ended up having stress fractures in like the top of my left tibia just from jumping off one leg trying to dunk all the time because I thought it'd be funny. But
I think intern Justin said you probably dribble like the guy from The Office. Oh fuck, Stanley from The Office.
I will say ball handling was not my strength. I was good for the one power dribble, drop step on the baseline.
I picture you as someone who just stood in the paint and just kind of was an object that was in the middle of the court.
Bingo. When you're 6'4" and you're in Central Maine in Class C basketball, you stand out. I had a big height advantage. It was nice. I enjoyed it.
So next question. There's been a lot of speculation that you're a rap guy because you went to a Snoop concert and you played the box on that one episode. Or the first song on that episode.
Yeah.
Is there any truth to that? And if so, who are your favorite rappers?
I don't mind rap. I'm not really a big musical person. I think we went to the Snoop Dogg concert more because we saw him. Like one of my first dates with my wife was when Snoop Dogg came to Bates College, and we drove from Brunswick to Lewiston with a bunch of her friends. So it's just kind of like a funny thing. He was coming to Boston, so we decided to go. But I was there the entire time, like, oh, fuck this. Can I go home? I got to wake up and do a podcast at 7 o'clock in the morning. But I mean, I guess I don't know. If I had to pick, I would say, like, I listened to Eminem when I was a kid. I think all of us did. I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit older than you guys. I don't know. Kid Cudi.
I think we're the same age.
I think
actually.
me, you, and
really, you're 30.
I'm 29. I'm 29. So
yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's basically like 31 in Canada.
Yeah. Well, some people are saying I was 14, so I don't know.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. My next question is, so fuck, marry, kill. I know Kirk doesn't want to do these, but there's nothing, you've never said that. So fuck, marry, kill. Barstool Advisor, Menners, and Tony Glass, the lib that was on your show that one time.
So I would definitely have to kill Menners. I'd say I'd fuck BA.
Nice.
He looks pretty. And I guess that leaves me with marrying Tony. I don't know. I feel like there'd be bitter arguments.
Yeah, you'd be arguing all the time.
It'd be really tense, but I don't know. Maybe we'd be better people.
It'd be a broken home, though. Your poor children.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And the last question. So how much money is left in the pizza fund? And have you been using it to offset the price of your ridiculous haircuts?
I actually, I used it to buy Penn stock. So it's now about a third of what it used to be.
Shit.
So I don't think I'm gonna take it out because right as soon as the announcement is when I invested the pizza fund. I mean, it's not my money. What do I care about it? But yeah, so it's depreciated quite a bit. I don't think I'll be able to touch it. I don't know if I want to start tax loss harvesting quite yet. I think I'll just like hold on to it. Maybe come.
We have the pancreatic cancer money. Maybe we'll just dip that into some Penn stock now.
Yeah, now's the time to buy.
That's a great idea.
Now's the time to buy. I think Penn right now is probably a good buy, but I'm at 83 cents a share. I'm still not going to buy Entercom.
Yeah.
I think all the Minifans should pull together their money, like their Trump bucks they're getting, and buy Entercom. I think it's a great idea.
I think I was looking at it. I think the market cap now of Entercom is 110 million. So you could probably for I mean, what, 65, 70 million, you could execute a hostile takeover.
Exactly.
But I mean, why would you want it? It's basically a real estate company.
We could put like shitty YouTube shows on the air. It would be great.
That's true, I suppose.
Put Elvin's conspiracy show on drive time. That'll be
that would be fun. Honestly, though, so some of the shows that happen on this YouTube channel are more entertaining than like Dan and Keefe. So why not? 100%. Watch it. It'd be a completely Minifan run operation, and it turns out to be like a $3 billion company by the end of it.
So we saved the most hard hitting questions here for the end. We wanted to get into to one of your biggest rivals, BA. Let's hit him with the hard stuff.
I'll start a little bit.
This is epic.
This is like
epic showdown.
Epic showdown. So first, you called me 14. That's clearly wrong. Maybe another lie as well. But so why have you not apologized to me about being wrong about my age?
I mean, you just sounded very young when you left that message. I didn't see this fulsome facial hair you have and those big pouty lips. You know, obviously you got to be 29, 30. But and that voicemail, you'll admit that voicemail, you sounded a little bit like Intern Justin.
Yeah, I did. I think I left another one after that where I was screaming.
You did, yeah.
Screaming.
I used the one that sounded like you were wearing a retainer.
Yes.
And to be honest, if you look at his typing and his grammatical skills, I mean, it's
pretty bad.
An 8th grader. So
yeah, you know.
I don't think.
So I mean, if you were greatly offended by that, I will apologize to you. I will apologize for
thank you.
You were a 14-year-old teenager with a retainer.
Yes, it really okay. I appreciate that first lie down. Okay, so the second, so this is kind of like you always say some convoluted stuff on the show, like thanking chickens for menstruation, doggos for walkies, Steve Burr, designated batter, the audience. Like, did these come to your head right away, or are they like planned out before?
Basically on the fly.
Oh, okay.
That's the kind of genius I am. I don't have to plan to talk about chicken menstruation. It's just like.
But like, have you used this in like those sayings in your everyday life, or is this just for the show?
I mean, every time I crack an egg, I kind of think like this is a chicken period. Have you never had that thought?
No, not really.
You're literally eating a chicken period.
Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah.
I think it actually goes back to there's an old Sarah Silverman comedy sketch about it. about how horrified chickens would be looking at you eat their periods.
Yeah. So okay, so they're on the fly. Okay, pretty good. That's nice. You bet better improv skills than Mike, then I guess some would say. So
I don't know. I actually don't think so. I think that on the Hammer episode, he really did pretty well. I
thought he did really.
yeah,
well.
I thought he did well. I'm just fucking around.
Yeah, I think so.
It took me a long time to figure out what we were doing, how we were doing it, and to edit it and put it up. And by the end of it, I feel like I was like Will Ferrell from Old School when he blacks out and answers that question and Carvel uploaded. And I was like, what the fuck did we just do?
That's one of my favorite scenes of that movie where he blacks
Yeah.
out. He takes the sip of water. Oh, I love it. My favorite movie.
Okay, so I got another one. Now I'm getting a little bit into the lies list. So in the Discord AMA, the first one you did, you said that. So you said you've been fucking since 15, and then in there you said you've only gone 30 days without fucking. So since 15, your longest dry spell has been 30 days. Can you explain yourself?
Yeah, but it might be longer than 30 days. I was just kind of guessing. I don't know. I don't really think that's
Caught
impressive.
him right in a lie. We
Got
caught
him.
Guessing is not the truth. Guessing is not the truth. That is a lie.
Congratulations. I don't know. I'm just trying. I was just estimating. I don't keep a journal of every time I've gotten laid.
Okay, okay,
That's weird. You don't?
You don't?
I mean, you guys. Is there a channel on the Discord for that?
Yeah.
No,
Sure
I mean
is,
it might be
there
longer
is.
than 30 days. It might be shorter than 30 days. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Now with quarantine going on, I think a lot of our numbers have all dropped.
Or they could have skyrocketed.
Dropped? What are you talking about? Oh, none of you guys are married.
Yeah,
He's gone up.
Yeah.
He's got Sasha.
My girlfriend, she works in a hospital, so I don't want to get too. I'm not trying to not get.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay, so you said you will lose 8,000 calories ice fishing, and when people Googled it, it's actually 68 calories per hour ice fishing. What do you have to say for yourself?
Yeah.
I think you actually do lose more calories when you're ice fishing.
But like
that was the gist of it. Is when your body's burning fuel to keep warm, it's like a day of exercise out on the ice. I don't know what scientific journal you're citing, but it doesn't go here with my personal experience. When I get done ice fishing, I'm like, yeah, that felt like an 8,000 calorie day.
So I go ice fishing quite a bit.
Where were you guys, by the way? When we went ice fishing up in Madawaska?
I was supposed to go up, but I ended up not being able to go because of the weather. But I regret it. I should have gone.
What do you mean you couldn't go because of the weather?
Well, I'm 20 and my fucking parents were like, oh, you shouldn't go. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to go because I didn't want to get into it. But
that's rough.
I miss my shot on Madawaska. Like at first I wasn't involved enough in this world to, I would feel awkward. And then I found out a bunch of people who were, solo out there had a blast. I regret that decision immediately.
I should have gone. It was my roommate's 30th birthday. We had a big party at the here. So I had prior commitments. Also, so I go ice fishing a decent amount with my buddies. But your buddies, you claim that they're really great fishermen. But how many fish did you guys catch? 2?
Yeah, it was not a great day out on the ice. No, I was surprised that we didn't catch more, and no salmon whatsoever. Long Lake's supposed to be really good for salmon, and nothing. All they put on the ice was perch. I actually think that next year when we do it, I'm going to fish more and do less of the cooking because I didn't really get to fish as hard as I'd like. I mean, I didn't even really set any traps or anything like that. But yeah, no, it was not a great day for any of the ice fishermen.
So you could say you lied about your buddy's fishing skills.
No, I mean, even the best fisherman is not going to catch fish all the time. But then again, I mean, that's not really the point of fishing.
Yeah,
it's about the experience by itself.
If you can't catch a fish, you catch a buzz. That's what I say.
Yeah, well, that's what Mike said too.
That's what Mike said. Okay, the last one, just to keep it light. So you said you have a rule: you always go to a funeral when invited, but then said the show comes first. So if a funeral is happening during the show, would you go or not?
Well, it depends. There's a funeral home right across the street. And so if there was a funeral there and I was invited, I might go and then just kind of like patch myself back into the show and make it part of the show. I don't know. Depends. But I mean, like, obviously your job comes first. And that like the Robinson rules were kind of like invented by Kirk, basically, because I said, like, if you're invited to a funeral, you go to one. And he's like, oh, you just always go. So I'm like, well, yeah. I hadn't really thought about it.
That was the birth of Robinson.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, I hadn't like mentally worked out an entire theory of rules governing my life, but maybe I should start.
They exist now.
Yeah, that bird like about 15 parody accounts. Speaking of parody accounts,
Did.
how many parody accounts do you really run? Do you have one?
I have just the DC Sleuth account, but it's not really that active. That's the only other Twitter account I
Oh,
have.
that's what you have that one as well. Okay.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
the original
Interesting.
the DC Sleuth. It's the one I made when I was originally doing that political work. So I used to have the dcsleuth.com, but I don't have that anymore. And I somehow figured out the password to it once it came back on the show. But other than that, I don't operate any parody accounts.
Nice.
Which parody accounts am I sitting with right now?
What? Oh, what I have or you have?
What you guys have?
I got Steve's a liar. I have Barstool Visor, and then I don't know. I have one more, but the Steve's a liar one I don't really use because the way I see it, you're always denying the lies, denying, and then in the new year, you kind of just embraced it. So it kind of defeated me. It defeated me just by embracing the lies. So
That's another Jedi mind trick. You're very susceptible.
well, no, not sometimes, not all the time.
I just broke you. It was a war of attrition.
So, and you were planning to do the lie detector test at the Wilbur, or is that confirmed, denied?
Yeah, I think Kirk announced when we were in. I think it was in the Madawaska show. He said that he was going to be doing it.
Did you have any did you put the wheels in motion to that a bit, or not really? That was going to be last minute.
I've called the different people administering the test, but it's going to be tricky because right now we don't know exactly when the show is going to be.
Yeah.
And we also need to find someone who can hang. Like, I mean, I don't know if you guys know a lot. Like, people who administer polygraph tests tend to be like ex-cops.
Sure
you know, they're like serious people, and they're kind of like everyone thinks that
a real
Yeah, I mean, everyone thinks that polygraph tests are kind of pseudoscience, anyways. So they're kind of special. They're like a special type of people. So we just have to find the right person who will administer it. I don't know. I mean, we've got quite a bit of time. BA, maybe you could become certified by like the Polygraph Association of Canada. You come down and do it.
I probably could, you know.
Speaking
All right,
of the Wilburs, go ahead, Steve.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if BA gets certified by the Canadian Polygraph Association, we'll invite him down and he can do it.
Okay, I'll put it on my list.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's already like a Rotary member and everything. He'll just add that to the list.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Wilbur, any updates on that? Have you been in contact with them or anything?
The last contact I had with them was they told me that they weren't closing down because of coronavirus. But now they're kind of in rescheduling mode. So the Barstool people have kind of taken over. The events people have taken over because, like, I mean, if you're running events for Barstool right now, I mean, what else do you have to do besides pick a new date for the Wilbur show? But I mean, we're looking out at the schedule. We want to do it on a Friday or a Saturday, just because that's what it was originally proposed as. Like I think I said on the show on Friday, it's kind of a bait and switch. If you sell people tickets for a show on a Saturday night and then you end up doing it on a Monday or a Tuesday, so we don't want to put a burden of like childcare and travel and all that kind of stuff on people.
Yeah. We
We don't want them to have to miss a ton of work. So we're looking to do it on a Saturday. The only problem is you've taken all of these events that were supposed to be in, like April, May, June, and then you kind of condensed them into the second part of the year, if that actually happens. So you've got very few openings and a lot of events that they're still trying to pull off. So we don't have a confirmed date, but we're hoping to very soon.
The good news is Justin has confirmed that if the Wilbur is moved, his barbecue will take place, Corona considering, on the day the Wilbur was supposed to be. So we do have a backup plan for everybody who knows. So
5,000
will you be in attendance?
5,000.
So all the Minifans.
Yeah, 5,000 people capacity there. So
You're on the
This is
list.
the first
by
I've
the way,
heard
so
of,
you're welcome to come.
of Justin's barbecue. So we're all going to get together and exchange coronavirus.
Yep. At Justin's grandfather's house.
Good.
Yep.
big in the Discord.
That's
We've
great.
been talking about it for weeks now. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
over some
I'll
brats and red
see it.
snappers.
I'll see that. I'll see the post Justin's barbecue numbers reflected in the downloads for the podcast when all you guys die.
Our viewership has gone down drastically since this
Weird.
barbecue. We can't figure it out.
Well, 5,000.
Listen, we're hitting almost 30 minutes. Last couple things we want to ask you. And then if you have some time, maybe we'll get your hot seat cool thrown. But
Sounds good.
I know over the past couple days, a certain gentleman named Matthew did something a little over the top on you, posting some photos of some personal stuff. Were you aware of this? And did you?
Yeah,
did
I
you
mean, I was
see that
aware
as
of it.
sort
I mean, how upset can you get about a fucking boomer who doesn't know how to use a computer? You know,
So stupid,
like that's
though.
that's the part that pisses me off is that he's just like a fucking old man drooling on his keyboard and he doesn't understand copy and paste and he's just.
The
I
funny
mean,
thing. He found a way to block out your wife's face and not
Yeah.
the actual company. who
Just
he
a-
posted it
Like
from.
he didn't realize he could just go back and
It took-
click on that.
Yeah.
It took people 10
Just-
seconds
just
to
an idiot.
search the name and find
But
the
you know,
original picture.
I would just hope that people are respectful, and by and large, a lot of Minifans are. But you know, there are some people who don't want to be a part of the world, and like, you know, it's funny if people go and find like my college pictures or my high school pictures, or you know, I mean, I don't give a shit about that. But I would just hope that people are respectful. I mean, after I did the Periscope on Friday of the clap, by which I was the only person clapping for the first responders, which I'm a little alarmed by. Somebody was like posting my address and everything, and it's like, you know, I'm not. And nobody can perfectly conceal their address. Like I could find just about everybody's address because we've all given up our privacy because of the internet. But I mean, it's just incumbent on people to act responsible.
Yeah, it's one thing if you're fucking around and stuff, but if someone's not in the world and not a part of it, it's like you should act respectful. And I think for, like you said, most of the Minifans are.
Yeah, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna show up at my house?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't. And who knows what you're gonna do? Like, you're the last house anyone should show up to.
Menners might show up.
You'll never leave.
I can see Menners showing up.
Now I'm gonna do an attack dog, a fucking ruthless canine ally.
How's the training going for the little puppers?
Awful. I'm like 1 for 8 getting it to pee not in the house. It's like the worst time ever to be potty training a dog when there's a shortage of paper towels and everything. Like I'm literally going through a roll of paper towels a day because he just like
disinfectant and everything.
Yeah, I took him on an hour walk early this morning and was just like, please poop, please pee, please do this outside. I'll give you a little treat, some positive reinforcement. He does nothing. I bring him back and put him in his kennel. And 2 seconds later, he takes a shit in his kennel.
Yep.
It's gonna be a long time.
When I got my puppy, the strategy I did was I didn't even do the pads or anything like that. I just literally every 20 minutes just took her out. Like it's the only thing you could do. But it's like, who has the time to do that? Luckily, I was unemployed and a loser at that time, so like, I had nothing to do. But
it was funny about the whole DAC's whole big lie, I guess, that he caught you on, Steve, was that you work from home. He's like, I got Steve on a big one. He said he works from home, but I was thinking, I was like, well, I would think you do a lot of work from home, right?
Yeah,
I do. I don't even understand that because I do. I mean, like we're in the studio for like 2 or 3 hours a day, and then the rest of it is from home, so I can take care of a dog. Like. I don't really
was acting
that.
like it was a huge lie too. He was bragging all over Twitter and shit, and it was like
I didn't get it either. And also, like, I didn't fill out the application. I was just like, I told the woman, I was like, I spend a lot of time working from home. So she like took our picture, which, you know, I'm kind of down on the Schultz guest house because I did not think that she was going to be posting that on Facebook. DEC wasn't the first person to find it. I actually had a Minifan send it to me before I got home from the shelter. Like, I got home from the shelter with the dog, opened it up, and there's a picture of me with the new dog, and I'm like, holy fuck! Like, how crazy.
Within 10 seconds of him doing the doxing, someone posted a picture of the comments where it showed DEC's real name, and there was about 10 posts before DEC's comment of Minifans that you could tell already saw it. So
yeah, I'm sure that the Schultz guest house is like, what the fuck is going on with this? Who do we just give the dog to?
This guy said he works from home.
3,000 comments on this.
Yeah,
you got that Minifan bump on our posts.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So I mean, if you have time, we'll run through this real quick. We do this thing called Hot Seat. We do this Hot Seat Cool Throne segment every week and our Clout Chaser segment every week. So we were very curious on what's up, Will?
Hey, Will.
Just joining for Hot Seat Cool Throne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Hey guys, that was awesome.
So speaking of lying on resumes for dogs, I bet somebody lied on their resume. All right, so we're gonna do Hot Seat Cool.
That's not what you told us. Well,
I didn't lie.
Cornell.
I didn't lie. I put out a picture. I put out a picture of my student ID for about like 2 hours. And then I was like, this is really stupid.
The expired one? I thought that was expired.
No, dude, that's just me with a haircut and like 25 less pounds.
Okay.
I actually think Justin, intern Justin's resume, he listed himself as like the senior vice president of some makeup company or something. I was like, that's kind of weird.
I'm pretty sure I put Cornell Dining on my resume.
It was very impressive. Very impressive.
Here's what it is.
So we do this hot seat cool throne segment. So hot seat obviously is who's on the hot seat, who's doing pretty bad this week, and cool thrones who's doing pretty good. So Steve, who do you have on hot seat for this week?
I think hot seat, I'm going to have to do two. I think I'm going to have to put Menners and Mayo both in the hot seat because both of those guys have initially gotten some praise from Kirk on the show. And ever since then, I think they've let it go to their head. And both, like, Mayo's got this kind of like pseudo contrarianism where he's got to kind of like take an opinion apart, like that goes against the grain every single time. And Menners to a certain extent is doing that as well. And he's also kind of like, ripping off Kirk's shtick. And he's also ripping off BA, frankly. Menners, BA, you should be upset. You're the original Steve hater. And then Menners is trying to cut in on the game.
Steve, he didn't even know about the lies list. I had to tell him, Menners, did you know about the lies list?
Oh, so you guys have been collaborating. You guys have been collaborating. You're not.
I think initially, a little bit initially.
No, yeah. I told because he was saying everyone send me lies about Steve or something. I was like, Menners, come on, this has been done since November.
You're like Menners. I've got a notes app on my fucking phone.
Did you pass the list? Did you pass the list to him and he just kind of stopped doing it? Like it's just fizzled away. You gave him the watch. And
I said I'm like here's the list. Here you go for it. But So
I guess the duty kind of falls to Mayo and Menners to like be interesting, and find their own voice and not just find a way to be unique and compelling as opposed to just parroting Kirk. Like I don't know why Menners went with the hammer on Thursday night. That was kind of weird.
Yeah.
The funny thing with Mayo is, and I learned it because I'm in a thread with him.
A private thread with Mayo?
I don't know how. Can you imagine him of all people in a private thread?
Holy shit!
He's a perpetual
I realized
releaser.
He'll start hating on something, and then like 2 hours later, he'll come back and he'll be like, "Okay, so I actually listened to the episode now, and I completely disagree with what I said." So what I said earlier. So I think he kind of just makes his opinions based off of first approach without listening to anything. And then comes back 2 hours later, sometimes with a completely different idea. Now that he actually understands.
Well, that's great.
So
He's forming his opinions in real time. That's a great way to handle it. I think he's got a future in broadcasting.
So who do you have on Cool Throne? Who's on top of the mountain this week?
I mean, on Cool Throne, I think it's got to be the Mincel Intel guys. I mean, you guys are on a run, man. You guys did the Zonker interview very well. You guys have put out some interesting, video projects. The Kirk tunes are really cooking with fire. I mean, I think you guys got to be on the top. And look at the get that you got now. You got this fucking glorious mustache on your show.
I hope you didn't watch Mike and the Minifans yesterday when I said that you asked me to come. Mike was like, "I'm jealous. You asked him to come on." I was like, "I." He seemed kind of hurt. I would never ask you guys.
I forced my way on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you. We're doing everything we can. We did that video today. That Barstool did that TikTok video. I thought that came out really well.
Yeah, that's good. I thought that came out pretty well.
People were saying to me, they're like, "Oh, you screwed up. You did a reverse, but that was on purpose."
That was the point. Yeah,
that was the point.
Yeah, I got that.
We went from
I
if you don't get it, you're not a real fan. So that's up on Instagram right now for people. I don't know if the Twitter tweeted it out yet, but I'm sure after this we'll get it tweeted out. But it's pretty funny. A lot of Minifans took place. But listen, we're trying to do everything we can. We got a couple more shows. I know Red's coming on this show after this. He's going to have that rundown show that we're going to try to get going with a pilot and stuff. So we got a lot coming, but we're just
it's good. We've enjoyed it all. It's great. You guys were a controversial, but you've taken the Minifan world by storm. You've won us over.
Great. We try to keep our head above water.
It's all Phil. It's all Phil.
I bring the fans. I bring the fans. That's what I bring.
Well, I think it's your electric personality and your overwhelming charisma.
Thank you.
So the other segment we do is clout chasing. Who do you think could get some clout this week? Who do you think we taking some clout away?
I don't know. I think Mike is always looking for a little bit more clout. I think he had some clout taken away by Dave Portnoy when he was like fucking just like neutered live on the rundown. So I think he's making his comeback. You know, he had a good day doing bad radio on the Hammer, and he's slowly turning around. Louis C.K. put out a new stand-up special, so maybe that's kind of like recharged his pervy comedy batteries. Hopefully, it comes in on Monday in a good mood. So I think he'll be doing good. I think I'd have to take some clout away from KFC because he apparently wants to come on the show tomorrow, which will be released a little bit later, and he wants to defend Mike Francesa and attack the Funhouse guy who's been putting out his clips. So
nice.
I'm not very sympathetic with that opinion, but we'll see how well KFC defends it.
He's a Minifan true and true, but he is a Francesca P1D1. Like
he is.
He's
absolutely.
A Francesca
Steve,
fan.
have you listened to any Pardon My Take recently, or have you not had time?
Because I have not listened to Pardon My Take recently.
Big Cat has been taking stories that you guys have like highlighted and segmented, and he's bringing them onto his show. Like Big Cat clearly is a P1D1.
I think.
Yeah, no, I'm open about it.
Big Cat, yeah.
You know, I mean, I think that they would listen. They would listen, obviously, because it's the best podcast going, and they still need entertainment. But I also think that as major shareholders in the business, they kind of want to have their fingers, keeping the pulse of basically everything that's going on. I'm sure they listen to Call Her Daddy and Schnitt Talk, maybe just to see what's going on. But it's obvious that both of those guys listen. Like I get a text from KFC after we released the Hammer, and he was like, "What is this? This is preposterous." You know?
It's funny how they naturally integrate like with calling in without you knowing and stuff like that. So it's cool to see like big guys in the company like buying into the show.
Yeah.
It's definitely just because they're bored, though. I mean, have you seen the Big Cat derbies at all, Steve?
Yeah, I have been following some of Big Cat's social media. I mean, it's tough. I got to give all the people at Barstool props because they found a way in a world without sports to still make content and do interesting stuff. I mean, it's hard. Like Kirk's kind of like if you had to design a content creator in a laboratory who could flourish without live sports, it's Kirk. Because he's never been reliant on that. And there's still, there's news, there's the world, there's drama and stuff to talk about. So he's pretty well off. But I mean, at the very beginning, when sports started getting canceled, we're like, man, what are the Barstool people going to do? But then you've got like Marty Mush dropping a ping pong ball down his stairs and, the derbies and, playing video games and everything. So, I mean, they're finding a way. It's not ideal, but I think it's been funny.
To quote the great Kevin from Bristol, I think the cream like rose to the top on this one. Like Barstool really showing its
the cream is
stuff.
rising
and
to
even
the top.
within Barstool, the cream is rising to the top too. Because I mean, like Kirk, like even Kate, who works with Chaps, like their content they're producing right now is getting extreme amounts of views and like they're creative, they're new, they're not repeats, you know what I mean? They're shining at a time where no one is shining. So
Chaps and Kate are kind of in the same situation that we are, where they're not overly reliant on sports. It was the people that we were always wondering, what the fuck are you going to do, are the people who are like their content is betting on sports and talking about sports, and that's purely what they do. They're just gonna have to find a different way to be entertaining and create value.
I have a question about that.
And leave. Go ahead.
The Brandon Walker 80s podcast with Kirk. I know a lot of people are excited for that. Me being one of them, I'm a big 80s guy. Do you know anything about that? Like the status of that, where it's going?
Yeah, we're still trying to work out a time for them to record. The problem is Walker's got like 4 kids, and Kirk's constantly tied up with Harry. So it's just like, I mean, you would think that the quarantine coronavirus stuff gives everyone more free time, and it does in some ways, but in other ways it makes scheduling stuff a lot more difficult. So I think that they're going to do sometime this week, they're going to do the Creed 2 watch party, and awesome. Walker and Kirk will both be a part of that. But I mean, we still do want to make it happen. It's just been a matter of scheduling.
Yeah, no, I figured it would be. I know Brandon Walker's got an army of children.
Yeah, he does. I did see Kirk is possibly doing Lights Camera Barstool tweeted out the other day.
That's what I was talking about. The Creed 2 movie party. Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
nice.
And then we're also doing another Minifan movie party. I think this time Kirk's picking one of his favorite 80s movies. What did you guys think of Bicentennial Man?
Awesome. I thought the watch along was awesome.
Yeah,
I thought the watch along was awesome, not the movie. I found it.
Phil, I can tell Phil liked it.
Phil's a big Man guy.
I didn't watch it because I despise watching other people watch movies. To be honest, that's my opinion.
No, you have to put the movie on. So
I know you had your way of doing it. You had your way of doing it. I did not do that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, fortunately, it's saved on YouTube now.
Yeah, I could go back and watch
it because of your. Go ahead, Phil. Sorry.
No, that was it.
Okay. I love watching it because of your extreme knowledge of the 3 laws of robots. I never knew you were so involved in the robot laws. I mean,
you didn't know?
Yeah, no, I'm just a big sci-fi guy. I love Asimov. I think his writing is just he's one of the foundational science fiction writers, and I think we don't need to get too into book reviews, but I really like his books.
It's like you're what's it called? Cyborg yourself or something.
It could be. But would a cyborg be interested in science fiction?
Maybe.
But he written into their code automatically. As a safe.
Right,
well, then I really wouldn't be dangerous then, because I would have to follow the first rule and never harm humans.
Yeah, you would have.
No. Steve, what's your kill death ratio?
What? Yeah,
infinity.
My kill death ratio on Call of Duty.
No, in real life.
In real life, well, I haven't died, so that puts a 0 in the ratio.
Oh yeah, you can't divide by 0, so I guess it's undefined. You're right.
Yeah, undefined, which is scary enough.
Yeah. Phil's kill death ratio is under 1, so
don't do this again. Stop.
Under 1.
It's been a big Discord thing right now. Phil's kill death ratio. But listen, Steve, we have to thank you so much for coming on. We can't thank you enough from each and every one of us. I don't know if you guys have anything to say before we say goodbye.
Yeah, I would say thanks for coming clean about all the lies, and I really appreciate that. You know, it's nice to be honest for once, so I'm glad you could feel that for once. So
look, everybody needs a Canadian asshole to keep them accountable.
Hey, at least I'm nicer than the Australian asshole. So
that's true. Your accent's better too. Thanks for coming on, Steve.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate you doing the show.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, Steve.
No problem at all. Thanks, Steve.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
I don't know why I said bye, guys, to Steve.
So if I'm off the screen, Phil, you could hear me right now?
Yeah, I can
hear you.
Okay.
You can go. I mean, you can get.
Oh, are we going?
At this point.
Okay, so
110. Yeah, at this point.
All right. I was gonna wait for you to say something, but
fucking moron.
I can start going with the
started at any point. If I have no, I'm not keeping this shit in.
All right, 110.
All right, I might put it at the end.
All right, we got 10 seconds. Let's go.
110. Hot Seat Cool Throne is brought to you by the 600th new show on the YouTube channel. Patrick is working on a KMS tribute project, and he needs your help. This will be a live show on the YouTube channel where the fans will follow along and answer live with the leaderboard. Please visit kmsdiscord.com/trivia to send questions. You will need to select a category, type in your question, and your reference to verify the correct answer. That's kmsdiscord.com/TRIVA trivia. Now I'm going to bring on Joel, BA, and Will.
How are you?
Doing great.
That works so well.
Did it work?
I don't think the audio is going to sound awful for that.
That's even better. We owe you, Patrick. We owe you a make do for what we just did.
Sorry.
Welcome everybody. I want to welcome everybody back. Thank you, Steve, for that interview. I thought it was pretty fun. You guys have fun with Steve?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Always.
He said he would fuck me, so that's all right.
That's always a win.
Plus mustache
so that's all that
matters.
Well. So let's get, we did mention that Steve asked us to come on. So let's get to the actual guest that we had scheduled and who was our first choice for this week.
Last week too. We scheduled him for last week too. Remember? Yeah,
we did. Oh, yeah. We did kind of. And he got bumped for Zonker too. So we got to introduce our guy, Red from Maine of the Red.
Yes.
Gentlemen.
Yes, how are you?
Hola, how we doing, boys?
Hola.
Doing great. Great to be here.
So good to be here.
It's nice to see the host of Nickel's Worth of Free Advice here, man.
Hey, it's an honor to be able to be on that show and then to be on yours. This is great. This is a nice little crossover.
Red, I was actually looking through my DMs, and the last thing that I said to you, the last question I asked was, "What the fuck did that jar of mayonnaise do?" So you and Mayo, it looks like I have a history. That was from February 22nd, man.
Was that really our last DM?
Yeah, those were our last DMs because we exchanged phone numbers. Remember?
I've sent you so many nudes since then. I don't know where those are going now.
We should put one right here. Right?
Yeah, right on the screen. There's gonna be a link to Red's nudes in the Dropbox folder in the description.
Please. That's what Reddit is for.
After it is red.barstool.com.
That's a whole different type of thing. All right, Red, welcome. So what we're gonna do is we did dive in a little bit to Steve's hot seat,
What?
cool throne.
Cool seat.
Okay, let's
Can I
start.
do this? All right.
Hot seat, cool throne. So we're gonna get into the rest of ours now with our special guests. So let's get right into it. BA, let's start with you. Who do you have on hot seat?
Okay, so hot seat, I got medium Poppy. You know, the guy, he came in hot earlier in the week. He was calling himself King Poppy for a bit. Then he got slayed by Jimmy. Jimmy slayed him, the King Slayer Jimmy. So I don't know, Poppy's on the hot seat. Jimmy, no, it wasn't waffling then when he slayed Poppy. So Poppy, he was the brightest stars shine fastest, or whatever the saying is, you know.
Poppy's close enough. His comeback. He's my ears will make his ground. My ears to the ground. He might have a pilot coming out.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully, he could get off the hot seat for the pilot, but that's Poppy's on the hot seat. He changed his name just to Poppy.
Huh?
Yeah,
I think he's
Phil,
big
you
Poppy
and Poppy
now.
were going back and forth. You and Poppy were going
yeah,
back and forth.
Yeah,
so.
but Poppy's my guy. So we're just disagreeing on stuff. That happens. You're allowed to disagree on things. Just in general with the Menor situation. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, even myself during that whole thing, I kind of disagreed with Poppy. I know Kirk showed him some love, so I mean, like Phil said,
Poppy calls it.
Menors is our guy too. So
I didn't disagree with Menors is our guy, yeah, but I didn't disagree with Poppy at all because Poppy was clearly clearly does not give a fuck. Like if you listen to him talk in voice chat about it, he was doing the same thing to typical dummy.
Yeah. Well, we had a good peace
Jackson, aka Pizzagate guy.
Yeah. So, but we had a good peace summit in the voice chat with Poppy and Menors. There's like 20 people in there. I don't know, Red. I think you were in there for a bit.
I was in there. I was listening to it.
I had the floor is yours, so I gave people the floor. Went pretty well. So you kind of got both sides of the story there, and it was good because some middle ground was had there. But
I would say the voice chat's peace summit went better than the actual call on Menor Show. Where they were supposed to have their peace summit. You know? I think that went a lot better. Who do you have on your summit?
Went well.
Really well.
My take.
I think everyone went really well. Floor is yours. I was passing the floor off, so I think it went really well.
You did good, but
thanks overall. Best producer. That's why you're the best producer.
Best producer in the business.
The Cool Throne is a group that are relentless, ruthless. They're a force to be reckoned with. It's the Philanderers. The Phil's fans, the Philanders, those guys. Hashtag Let Phil Speak. You know, they're all in my DMs and my mentions in Discord. The Philanderers are ruthless. They're a force to be reckoned with. So they're on the Cool Throne this week. I think the top. I guess the Philanderer president must be College Bowdoin Police. So he's the president of the Philanderers.
Or Steve from Providence. He's a big Phil guy as well.
He is.
Phil,
the list is
getting
higher and higher.
Use this platform. The floor is yours. Everything. Let Phil speak. Phil, this is your chance to speak to the fans who fight day by day on the battlefield for you. What do you have to say to them?
Yeah, I just want to thank them every day for putting in the work. I mean, Bowdoin College Police is ruthless on Twitter, as BA just said like 4 times, trying to use that word. He doesn't stop. He's got my back. So, I mean, I don't know. I just want to thank them. That's it.
And Mayo, I got shout out to Mayo for coining the term philanderer. So
that's true. Shout out Mayo.
Listen, some of the guys that are your biggest supporters are some of our biggest allies, and when it comes to this, they will throw me into the gutter.
Yeah, they hate you guys.
So
sometimes.
I just want to say, they hate us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red, are
Wait
you?
till they know that we
100%.
wait till
Red.
they find out that we replaced Phil with Elvin next week.
Oh yeah. We're
They're gonna be
the wheels are in motion. We're trying to squeeze Phil out because.
Big power struggle.
All right, let me do my hot seat.
Wait, Red. What do you think about the Philanders, man?
I'm one of them. I consider myself.
There we go.
I've been there for a long time. I've been hashtagging Let Phil Speak for a long time. I've been waiting for this. I finally got to hear his voice today. This is wonderful. He sounds like an angel. I can't believe we haven't let him speak before. I don't know what you guys have been doing. You guys have been hiding the talent there on your bench. But let Phil speak, man. This is over. This transgression cannot last any longer. So I'm happy for this, man.
There's a reason the 6-man award exists. The 6-man award exists.
Hey, we're trying our best.
I mean, we just got done taping with Steve, and we just talked about it. He just tweeted out. He just got done taping with us, and that he's a Phil guy now.
Wow.
He's hashtag
who's
Team
not?
Phil. So I mean,
It's hard not to be.
He's on a heater,
It is.
like you read about. This is unbelievable.
I just wish his kill death ratio was a little bit better, but you know.
All right, Willie G. Minihane wants to go with the
my
hot seat,
my
so go
hot
ahead.
seat is Mincel Intel Phil. Everybody else, you two guys are making the media fucking tour, and he's just not. He's like, you know what?
All right, well,
You guys are.
let me react to that because
you guys are good.
the reason
I'll just let a chubby bearded Canadian man and Joe, a guy who doesn't have the same name every fucking 3 days. Yeah, we'll let him represent the show that Mike at the end of the day reflects on me.
Yes, I think we did a great job.
Yeah,
I think
But
you guys did
hashtag
too.
let Phil speak. Come on.
Yeah, hashtag let Phil speak.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot what you were talking about that. Yeah, go ahead. You're on my hot seat.
Yeah, I mean, so Mike never invited me on. That's the only reason why I have a slight grudge there. But he asked me to go on next week. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Who knows? I'll let him know.
Keep it up.
If my
That might
schedule
hurt your
frees up-
brand, Phil.
If my schedule frees up, yeah, we'll see. He's got my assistant's number, so he can figure it out.
Who's your assistant? Sneakers?
No, actually, yeah, Sneakers. Sneakers is my yeah, I like that.
Willie G. Minihane for his cool throne.
My cool throne's got to be Steve. He's the best internship supervisor in the world. He also has a sweet mustache too now. So
Yeah, yeah.
You should take note.
there. And
Some would call
I've got
your
another.
mustache
I've got another.
a
I've got
intern
another. Cool,
mustache.
okay, yeah, he might have copied me. But I'm not gonna say anything. It's all right.
Assistant mustache.
And my other cool throne is the person right below me, right there. Red from Maine.
Oh,
This guy's a fucking machine.
Big week.
Met me and the crew on the way up to Madawaska. This is a cool throne that's been in the waiting since we've got you on, man.
Oh,
This is the coolest throne.
oh
I've
my
got
God.
that bottle of whatever the fuck coffee brandy sitting Alan's
Coffee brandy.
I've got that
Absolutely.
sitting up on my windowsill like
Oh.
like all alcoholics do.
You're an adopted Mainer already, Will. I can
So,
feel it.
You're the coolest throne. For
Thank
me
you.
right now.
Oh, wow. Look at this.
I would say I don't know many people from Maine, but Red's definitely my number one.
Hey,
Maine
there
guy.
we go. Look at me.
You're my Maine guy.
I just came on here for the compliments. This is all I came on here for. This is great. Oh,
I mean, I don't know. As far as Maine people, I don't know. TJ Hubbard's up there. Tim Ridgels is up there.
Gig?
Gig.
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 Oh,
Gig's
shit.
big,
It's
man.
just
Gig's writing
insane
guitar riffs
after
for me.
seeing that picture. After seeing that screenshot from Steve doing his clapping video with that fucking hammer he has, that you could fit both his penis and Red's in your mouth at the same
Oh,
time.
we forgot to ask him.
Well, that would be rough. I got to rethink Steve's choice to fuck me, so that would be a little rough.
Let's hop over to Philly Discord. What do you got for hot seat?
Yeah, so I have 2 hot seats this week. Breaking the rules a little. Is that a rule? I don't know.
No.
Whatever. Well, one of them is Steve's hot seat. I guess I'm kind of stealing that, but Andy Mayo. But more so because of last night or 2 nights ago's Mike and the Minifans performance. He goes in saying he has all this criticism for Mike and stuff like that, and then he just ends up blowing Mike the whole time. I think Red had a little bit on that, right? You were posting some screenshots and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that a little more. He's one of my hot seats.
So it's a difficult relationship with Mayo.
Oh, really?
It's complicated.
No way. No way.
It's complicated.
No
he
way.
comes in hot. He comes in ill prepared. He doesn't listen to the show all the way through. He just sees what the chat is going on in the Discord, and he just comes in. He barrels through like MHB, with not a lot of information, but with a lot of anger and energy. He's my guy. I'm a big Mayo guy. I'm almost as big a Mayo guy as I am a Phil guy.
Wow.
So I can see.
Breaking news.
I'm torn. I love Mayo, but it's been an up and down week for him for sure.
I agree. That's my main point.
I think there was a little bit of talking in circles in that first half. Michael and Mina fans. I think Red brought that up. I might be stealing his comments. So
well, Kirk even
said Red brought it.
Oh, go ahead.
It's funny, the fact that I'm just going to get bashed right now for cutting you off, Phil. But it's funny that Red brought up that he comes in unaware of the episode, bashes it, and then watches it, and then comes back with his next opinion after he's done watching. I just mentioned that to Steve when we were doing our interview. Actually, it's funny that you just said that.
Sometimes he'll DM me. I'll DM him something about the show, and then he'll ask me for the timestamp, because he just wants to hop around and figure out where his name is in the show.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, it's just total Mayo. That's just what he is. I love him. He's a lovable troll, man. He's my number one troll out there.
All the timestamps I've been sent, none have said none have said Mayo.
No,
not a one of them.
No.
Phil, you have another hot seat.
So my second hot seat is Jay's Mayhem, aka Jay on Discord.
Wait,
the reason why he's on the hot seat, a lot of people already know about this. Jay went to McDonald's last night and he ordered a McChicken with no mayo.
This is funny. This story.
Listen, no mayo, cheese, and ketchup, and he called it a goddamn McChicken parm.
Pickles.
And pickles. I mean, talk about nightmare. Like, I'm convinced Jay's a serial killer at this point. Any open murder investigation on the North Shore in the last however long has to be Jay. There's no
that guy.
No doubt in my mind.
Jay.
And he did the order on the Discord voice chat, so we could hear him.
We could hear him like ordering his like 3 Big Macs and then this McChicken parm nonsense that he got from McDonald's.
If we had a producer that was able to do that, that's where you would throw that DEC car crash noise in right after you said that, because that's just appalling. That's gross. That's disgusting.
Ketchup.
So who do
ketchup, cheese, and pickles.
I don't know. Was that like a ricochet shot at me? Did a ricochet shot at me, John?
A little bit.
I'll throw car crash noises in for the rest of the fucking show if you want. If you really want me to, that's what I'll do. Right now.
All right. You're the best.
Here's another one. Right. Car crash noise. All right.
Bam.
What you wanted?
Cool throne?
So my cool throne is Blind Mike Sneakers. I guess he's my assistant now. He's not going to like that I said that. He's probably gonna denounce that he's a philanderer after this show. So. But the reason why he's on my cool throne is because he's a big troll and he says a lot of stupid, mind-boggling shit like all the time, every day. Everything he says is pretty much stupid, but he makes me laugh a lot too, especially a lot lately. So I think he's on the cool throne. He's doing very well. A lot of people hate him though, which is kind of funny. Like they take him seriously.
I used to hate him.
Well, I think it's the difference of if you've been in a voice chat with him, he's
hilarious.
It's
all I hear in the voice chat was one of the funniest.
He had one of the funniest moments this week where he was on mute. He came off mute for 5 seconds to say I don't want to get in trouble, and then literally right after he finishes saying it, kids start screaming at him. His wife and he instantly went back on mute.
It was funny. So it was funny. He was on the voice chat too, and he unmuted it, and he's talking to his kid. He goes, "Hey, we're gonna go to Uncle Fez's. Are you ready? We're going to Uncle Fez's house."
He was saying in the chat, he's like, "I'm gonna go to Fez's house." Like that.
We're going to Uncle Fez's, and you hear the kid be like, "What are you talking about?" or something. So, Blind Mike Seekers, he's a funny guy. Big Leafs fan. He's a big Leafs fan too. I want to throw that.
I heard you're a big Bruins fan.
Right here.
Huge.
Oh,
yeah.
Right?
You two are sort of rivals in that area.
But big Leafs fan.
Let's hop over to
Red.
Actually, you know what? I'll do mine first, and let's let Red go last to finish us off. So my
just give us a nice
finish us off. DEC. My hot seat is
We want
now,
hot choice.
We want red.
Hot seat is the English language.
We want Red to finish us off. So.
I would love Red.
I mean, he already finished off for Will, so let's get the rest of it for us. My hot seat is DEC. We talked about this on the Steve interview. The doxing wasn't a good look. Just because he didn't mean to dox Steve. So Phil describes it pretty well. It was kind of just like a dumb boomer on a keyboard.
And he doxed himself too. He's in the comments. I feel terrible. He doxed himself most of all.
You got Fez making like DEC LinkedIn profile picture photoshops now. I don't think we intended for that to happen, but here we are.
Yeah,
poor guy.
And once again, we talked about it with Steve. I thought how he tried to cover up the picture was like he whited out Steve's wife's face and then just left everything else for everybody. As if the Minifans have reversed face recognition. We can't find the name of this dog pound or dog rescue.
If you don't think Minifans can find a Facebook post,
that's the first thing people did when they saw that post was, let me go look at what Steve's wife actually.
And too, if you look at the Periscope that he put out there when he's clapping. Like you've got a street view there, and I don't know if you guys have seen like the don't F with cats documentary, but easily the Minifans are just on Google Maps, like just trying to find his place. Like
Steve actually said someone found it.
Someone found it. Well, someone found.
Let me talk. He's already got a GPS signal on his car. Acoustic theory does.
I was gonna say too. They found it. Oh, sorry. They found his address or his Airbnb in Miami based on a bus schedule or something like that.
Unbelievable.
I mean, yeah. So for Cool Throne, I have two people. First one I have is Gig. Gig's still killing it. He's Kirk's guy now. Apparently, Gig's killing it. Gig with the gifts and the photoshops are amazing. So thank you to Gig. My second one obviously is the guy that is below me again. Red, you're killing it.
Hey.
We're going to announce the show that we're going to have a pilot for coming up soon.
Excited.
After we're done with these segments, but really excited for it. Really happy I get to take place. So I got to throw it to my guy, Red.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah.
So let's hop into hot seat for you, Red.
All right. So this hot seat has been a long time coming. I've been saving this one to get on this show.
Oh, nice.
My hot seat is Quantum Week Chris.
Oh, shit.
I am a huge fan of his podcast. But on his podcast, if you listen, he shits on everything. Anything that you like, anything that's popular, he shits all over it. And he went after New Kids on the Block, which I'm a huge fan of New Kids on the Block. He hates the New Kids. Okay.
Me too.
Well, yeah, we'll get into you in a minute. Okay. Hates the New Kids. And then on his last week's episode, he talked about how he was more of a Puff Daddy fan than a Tupac fan.
Really?
So,
whoa.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked up.
So right there, anytime anybody says they're more of a Puff Daddy fan than a Tupac fan, you are instantly on the hot seat. I don't think he's ever coming off. I mean, you can't put Puff Daddy there and Tupac down there. It just doesn't work.
Wow.
The only good thing Tupac ever did was in the Biggie movie where he says he walks into the jungle naked and walked out wearing every animal on his back in a new lion coat, whatever he's. I love that line.
That's good.
So I'm a big Tupac fan, so he stays there. That's just the way that goes.
I think that's fair.
But I like him. I like Chris a lot, but that's just what it is. And then my
Tupac calf tattoo like Kevin Durant. You got the Tupac calf tattoo like Kevin Durant?
No, I don't. I don't have that. I should. I'm working on my Will tattoo. I've got an Intern Will tattoo.
I have
my sleeve.
I have a funny picture of back in the day with me and a Tupac impersonator. It's a pretty funny one. Maybe I'll leak that. It's
please.
You can find it on BA's Facebook. It's him and the real Tupac. He thought it was the real one. He didn't know
no, that was like Pac's been in. I think it was down in Mexico. So Pac's been down south this whole time. So
you forgot to bring that up in the interview with Steve BA is the fact that he almost fucking like doxed you on the show.
Yeah, he almost did. Actually.
With the voicemail, yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
We talked about it a
Red,
little
who do you
bit.
have for your
Cool throne?
Cool throne?
So my cool throne is actually, it's going to be Will. I had this planned out beforehand. I did not realize I was going to be on your cool throne, Will. You had an up and down week, William. Up and down. You had a couple of grammar issues on the show posts. Would you agree to that? Would there be some grammar issues there?
Oh yeah, and I totally tried to play it off like I didn't fuck it up.
You did.
Yeah,
not believe you for one
some
second.
Some people were saying they were planned and executed perfectly.
Some people
but
are
some
saying
other people
that,
were just
but
saying he just
I've
can't
heard that. I've heard people say that. So that was tough. But then you did a great job DJing on that Thursday show.
Well, I
the
just
music
sent
with
the
Prime.
songs. I can't take credit for that. I just sent him the songs.
Well,
I just sent him the songs. And
you played Bieber. You played Harry Styles. I was instantly. I was in, and you got the weekend in there too. I was all in.
Don't forget Roddy. Don't forget Roddy.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I love it. So you instantly go back on the cool throne. You bounce back. It was great. So you were on my cool throne for sure this week. Well done, William.
I love you.
Love you more.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
Not possible.
Awesome. Last cool throne we had, the Mincel Intel is giving a cool throne also to Red because you have helped us day by day with our bracket videos, live reports from Red and from Maine. They were awesome. They were electric. I thought they were hilarious.
Yes, they were.
We're gonna announce. I guess we'll announce on the show right now. The championship has been decided, and it is going to be between John Featherson.
Oh man,
Kevin.
And Kevin from Bristol.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Heavyweight. That's some heavyweight.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
love that.
This is like a.
wow.
This is like a. Kevin from Bristol is like in the shit, like in the weeds all the time with people, always coming up with new stuff, and then John Featherson same way, but on a different like playing field, I would call it. Like he's fighting the war front lines, whereas Kevin's kind of here for the Minifans and that kind of stuff. I think this is going to be a good battle.
This will be good.
Yeah. John is legit, man. He's everything I want to be as a Minifan. He's not down for any clout or anything else. He is funny, but he's all business at the same time. And then Kevin, I love his videos, man. He is so funny all the time.
Yeah.
So,
His entrances are always so
That's
funny.
awesome.
So funny.
Yeah. Awesome.
So let's hop into our next segment. Before that, Phil, we got ad read.
Yes, we do. Let me just pull it up.
Yes.
So, Clout Chasin is once again brought to you by Deconstructing the Minifan Discord. Deconstructing the Minifan Discord is the latest podcast from the Miniverse. Inspector J from fan favorite J and Off takes you inside the fan base platform where all things Minifan are discussed 24 hours, 7 days a week. Kirk ventures inside the Discord on a regular basis. You don't get listener interaction anywhere else like this. You can currently find Inspector J's podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, and Buzzsprout. Soon coming to wherever you find your podcasts otherwise.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks.
Is that it?
All right.
Okay, and that's the end. Okay.
How do you end an ad read? I don't know. How do you end an ad read?
Someone
I think-
said that Jay, what's he doing it once every quarter, once every 3 months?
He's not. Hey, so shout out Jay. He's a father of
Yeah.
adopted dogs or something like that. So he's got a lot in his
Yeah.
plate.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a bunch of dogs coming in.
Yeah,
So
he's been over this corona controversy here. He's been doing a lot of extra work with
Controversy, you meant
with the
fucking
dog shelters.
pandemic?
Yeah, what?
Pandemic, I guess. Yeah,
It could be a conspiracy. It could be a conspiracy.
Coronavirus is something
Me and
that
BA are
Kirk
all on the
has done his show.
conspiracies right now. But he's been doing a lot of work with dog shelters and everything like that. So the podcasts are coming out a little slower right now, but that just means the next one's going to be that much better. So Jay's our guy. Can't wait. Let's get into clout chasing. Let's reverse it this time. Phil, you go first for clout.
All right, so my only clout, because I only have one, is going to +5 to intern Nick. This is mostly because I couldn't really think of anybody else, so I was like, hey, let's just give intern Nick some clout. But I have some reason. I think he's gotten a little better on the intern show. He's still not that great, and he's still not really that funny. And he still scares me like a lot because he's pretty psychopathic. But I think he's getting better, and I think he's a star. He's a rising star. So,
He's good, dude.
+5
I'm glad he's
intern
getting
Nick.
the clout and recognition right
Yeah.
now. He is a good dude. He puts in the work every day. He's working hard. He's getting efficiency down. he's getting it down. He didn't realize, I don't think, from the start how much it would consume your life, you know, a little bit.
Yeah.
He was in the voice chat.
I mean,
too.
I'm not even an intern, and it consumes my life.
Yeah,
bro, so.
he was in the voice chat the other day, so he's talking, and also he called me the #1 international Minnie fan. So I'm a big internet kid.
And I like him
we
because
did
he
announce
embraces. I like him because he embraces like the grind, like the everyday grind.
We announced in the voice
just
chat the other day that he's going to be producing the Rundown show with me and Red. So
Let's go.
We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, Nick's a good kid. I like Nick a lot. I'm happy to see he's getting a little bit more on his plate now and see what he could do with it. Red, who do we got for clout?
So my +5 clout I'm giving to Zonker because he hooked me up with the red.barstool.com. He is in the KMS world. I see him all the time. He's commenting on things, you know, not just going on the show, just characters that are on Twitter that he's following along. Like, he is deep in it. Like, he's not just come in and hop on your show and then leave again. He's a good dude.
He's a big fan.
Loves the YouTube channel. He's been watching a lot of the.
He's in the comments.
He's in the comments on the YouTube.
He's in the comments too. I haven't seen him there. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Is it who I think he is? Is it who I think he is?
I think
Yeah, we won't say his name, but yeah, it is.
Yeah, he's in the comments on YouTube.
That's awesome.
Red, did you just do plus, or do you want to take some away? Usually our guests will do a plus, a minus, and then you can put somebody on the watch.
You can do whatever you want, man, Red, as long as you're here. As far as I'm
right.
you can do what you want.
So I'm cloud. I will do my guy Menners. I feel bad. Poppy clipped his nuts for him this week. He heard him, and he was scrambling a little bit. I think Menners is going to bounce back. I'm looking forward to see what he does this week. I'm still a Menners guy. I'm still a Poppy guy, but it was a tough week for Menners for sure. So he's -5 for me.
Coming off a hot week for Menners too.
Oh,
so
God.
I mean, there's nothing like balance. So I think we're back on a level.
I have nothing but hot
around
weeks,
here
so
with
I can't
Menners,
relate.
Oh, you killed that ratio.
The dragon.
You killed that ratio.
The dragon. BA, who do we? Or no, Clout Watch. Do you want to put somebody on the watch? Who's an up and comer, or possibly?
You know, I think I had a couple of guys that were already said, so I'll leave the watch alone. So I'll just go with the plus and the minus there.
We'll go to our Clout Watch specialist then. BA, what do we got?
Okay, how did you know? Watch? So I'm putting someone on the Clout Watch as per usual, but this is a little bit different. But it's Fez and Barstool animated. So they made a cartoon of boner dogs, the PMT thing. So he kind of did a stool or Kirk Toons version of the PMT stuff. And me and Fez did the voices. So Fez is the voice of the boner. I kept on saying in the comments. I
didn't know that you guys did the voices.
Yeah, so in the comments, I was like, "Oh, Fez has the perfect boner voice," and he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then he DMs me after. He's like, "What the fuck is this for?" And he didn't know he didn't know he was playing the boner. So
what I'll do is I'll retweet that post from our show account so people could go watch that, because Barstool Animated's our guy, man. He does the cartoons and everything. He works hard for us, and he'll continue to do these cartoons and obviously make cartoons about boners.
Yeah, but
he has time for KMS stuff too. Like if I ever ask him to do anything, he's like, "Fuck yeah, man!" And the turnout's quick too. He'll get it done
really fast.
Yeah, he worked with Kirk and them beforehand. He even did the cartoon stuff. Steve said he worked.
Yeah, he made shirts. He was making shirts.
Yeah, the Madawaska shirt. I'm pretty.
Will, let's hop over to you while we're at it.
Okay, I'm gonna give +5 clout to BA, the YouTube commenter. I know I put him on the hot seat last week, but he's a necessary evil, and I think that, I believe he has a new role if he wants to expound upon that. But he's +5 to BA.
Yeah, I guess because when I was on Mike and the Minifans, I was in the YouTube comments while on the show. So I got a new position. I don't know if it's paid or unpaid. I'll talk to Mike about that. But it's I'm going to be the.
I guarantee it's unpaid.
Oh, you think? That's not what
Mike is coughing up some extra pocket change that he has.
All right, well, I'll still do it. But
you could. Will knows. You could ask me. I'll Venmo you. 20.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I'm the
story for another day.
I'll be the comment guy. I'll be the comment moderator, comment guy on Mike and the Minifan. So I'll pop in with the best comments. So
yeah, there we go.
There
All
we
right. And on my clout watch is Steve's mustache. He said he wasn't going to shave it, or he was going to shave it off. He said it was going to be very short-lived. I don't think so. I think he's going to learn that you feel much more powerful with a mustache. Like,
but you got to think, like, is the wife about it? I think that's the big thing, is whether his wife is into it or not.
She was about a beard. What's the difference between a mustache
Yeah,
and
but
a beard?
behind every great mustache is a great woman. I'm telling you, that's just the way that goes.
Yeah.
Down to her.
That's a great line.
That's a true woman.
And another factor going in, he did say that he was going to shave it off, right? Like he said, it wasn't going to last for a while.
Yeah, he said it wasn't going to last.
We'll see. He's a liar.
That wouldn't be on brand.
Yeah, that's true. He is a liar.
Be on brand.
Yeah.
For him not to keep it. Or
for all we know, that mustache might have been fake.
That's true. It could have been fake.
No,
he is a liar. Let's not look over.
He looked like a detective. He looked like a detective or something.
Yeah, he did. He did look like a detective.
It was weird seeing Steve in a t-shirt,
him in that video that I made where he shaved it. It's nightmare fuel. And he sent it to me saying it's nightmare fuel, and it's nightmare fuel. It's scary. That poor dog in that video is being held by that monster.
Looked terrified.
Terrifying. It was terrifying. I thought that Kirk messaged me and he said Steve is an insane person, and I just sent him a picture back of that, and it was of the dog, and I just said, look at this poor dog. That's all I had. Look at this poor dog. All right, let me do. I have two, so I'm gonna start with my -5 clout. So who was the -5 clout for? I don't remember.
Oh wow.
So let's skip over my -5
all right,
and go
so
right into my
negativity.
+5
Good
clout.
vibes only. Let's end the show. Good vibes.
Yeah, no negativity. Let's stay positive. Go. Yeah. So my +5 clout is going to go to the KMS Rundown. So let's jump right into talking about this right now. So our guy Red here in the bottom is going to have a new show to pilot, depending that we don't absolutely suck. But we're doing a show together where I believe, Red, you're going to be mostly the host. I'm not really going to be on the show other than some guest host appearances.
Well, yeah. Right? So I think what the plan is we'll have a rotation of hosts, a rotation of characters. We want to try and keep it 3 people maximum, because I think 3 voices is probably best. It'll be 20 to 30 minutes. I want it to be the pitch that I put out to Kirk and to Steve was it would be something along the lines of not only the Barstool Rundown, which I think they do a really good job of, and it's like the best thing I think Barstool does that I constantly check in on, but also for the OGs, the OG Minifans, the ones who were listening to Kirk back in the day, they had a podcast, the Real KNC podcast, was something the producers put together that would be like once or twice a week, that would cover what's going on in the show behind the scenes. And I'm hoping this show could be that, where we could have, hosted by the fans, for the fans, by the fans, and have it be, the KMS Rundown that comes to you. Right now, we'll just do it once a week. The plan is for Fridays, have it be able to drop Friday afternoon. Maybe it's drive time, maybe it's 5 o'clock, maybe it's somewhere in there, but sometime on 5 o'clock, you'll get the KMS Rundown, and we'll cover the best of that week, and try and do it with the fans and have a rotating cast of people coming in, which I'm pumped that you guys have all, behind the scenes being willing to help out behind the scenes, but also being in front of the camera. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's something to have on a Friday like that. I think would be really good for us and for the show too. So I'm
absolutely,
I'm
especially the people who keep along, like who do stay along, like right along with the show during the week. I think that's probably your most target audience. Because there's like slight things that you miss over. Like I feel like you're gonna do a really good job with the nuanced stuff, and I'm excited to watch that for sure.
It's crazy when you guys listen to the show, like. When I listened to DEC do his best of podcasts, this week was such a packed week, even though it's we're in the midst of coronavirus and everything else and the quarantine. There's not a lot of news going on, but you almost forget about all the stuff that went down with Mike on a Monday, which was a great show. And then I think you had Thursday's show as well, which was different. And then Friday's show, which I think was the best thing that they did all week, where Kirk was just firing out. He was after enemies. He was on point. I thought he was his sharpest.
He felt
this
vindicated.
week.
He felt. I feel like Friday he seemed vindicated.
Right.
When it comes to Kirk's show, it's 2.5 hours long, usually every day, and it's every day, Monday through Friday. Weeks seem so long, and you know when you're sitting there listening to a podcast, sometimes you just phase out a little bit, and this will be a good way to bring this stuff up. And I know people will say, well, DEC does this with the week in review, but this is going to be more fan interaction.
Exactly.
With what's going on in the show, whereas DEC kind of just reviews it. Now we're going to be able to bring a cast of characters in, how they feel about it. I mean, we'll have different points of view.
You can set it as a premiere, have people comment on the side. BA will be in the comments.
Also, DEC is not the sharpest tool in the shed.
I was about to say that.
Actually, talking to people unintentionally, so it would be good to have some brains behind the.
Yeah, I was also going to add that DC is also very boring, so hopefully this will be a little bit less boring, which I think it will be.
And it's great because Red's a star. He's already a host of one of the shows on YouTube, the Nickels Worth of Free Advice.
Thank you. Yeah, so
you have that wacky sidekick Mayo though.
Yeah, that Mayo guy hosting two shows is going to be difficult for me, but I'm going to try and pull through. We'll see. Maybe I'll have Mayo take over for me on that Nickels Worth. I don't know, but having two shows,
give him a shot.
So speaking of people being on there, have you talked to certain people? What kind of cast do we have so far, and how can people reach out if they're interested?
Yeah, so if anybody is interested, please DM myself,
join the Reddit.
John, and Nick is going to be involved as well. But anybody that wants to be on, we'll do it. We're going to try and do a tight rotation at first, and then build it out from there. I pitched this show to Kirk basically to get Phil an opportunity to speak to.
That was really our whole.
Because without John and BA, I'll be able to talk.
Right, there you go. So, but having that 3-person, I think will be great. And there's already some people that are in the KMS YouTube world that have already hosted, that have some opportunity to do that. So I think we can mix those in. Lauren Lynn, I reached out to her. If I can get her to come on the show, then I can get BA to come on the show, and then we're off to the races, man.
Yeah.
That's how that goes.
It's a good point. And the dominoes just fall after that.
Exactly.
I know we picked about, I think the number we picked was about 10 people we want for the rotating cast for right now. But I mean, that's going to change. The more people we get, and I know for the hosts, we basically kind of just went with people that are, on their own YouTube shows right now. But
exactly.
We want to build that. The more people, the better. The more points of view we can get, the better. So make sure you're reaching out to Red. Make sure you're reaching out to me. Just go ahead, Red.
Yeah, I was gonna say, reach out to us. Let us know. We'll help with the production of it too, where we can do some Google Docs and help people just stay organized and stay prepared. We want people to be prepared for the show, but we don't want it to be robotic either. So.
You don't want an unprepared show like Mike's that Phil won't go on. So
I was also going to say Friday too is a pretty light night as far as shows go. Intern show either goes 8p or 9p EST, and we always have to figure out time zone shit with Nick. So Friday's always up in the air.
Is it that hard to figure out time zone stuff every week?
You'd be surprised, man. He came in one night with 3.5 minutes to spare. Justin and I were like, are we just gonna go without him? And
who did, Nick?
Yeah, Nick did. He came in one time with 5 minutes to go. Yeah, I think it was the night he was wearing shorts and a suit top. Well, he wasn't wearing a suit top, just a shirt.
Yeah, he was. That was actually pretty funny. But yeah, guys, so to wrap up the rundown show, because we're running a little bit long.
I think we're really long.
We're so long.
Yeah, sorry about that, boys.
I don't. Once again, you know my opinion on how long our show goes.
Be an hour and a half max, right? Because of our voice.
Yeah. As for what you guys think of I'm gonna go as long as we're having fun, and we have fun. But I did remember my negative clout, Earl the Pearl. You're probably gonna hear this name a lot coming up. So
you might hear the name quite a bit.
-5 clout.
Earl the Pearl.
I don't know. It seems like Earl the Pearl's name is going to be in the news a lot soon. But other than that, guys, anything to wrap up? Let's start with Will. Will, what do you have to wrap up the show?
I'd want to thank Steve, obviously, for coming on. That's fucking awesome. Like, whose fucking boss does that for their, like, you know, I mean,
well, he asked us. He asked us to come.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he booked himself. Still want to thank.
Didn't even reach out to you.
I didn't even know he was coming on. Shit. And I also want to thank Red for coming on, and anybody who's made it this far, thank you for watching. That's about it for me. I don't know if anybody else has anything else.
BA, who do you got?
I think great show. Sneakers. I'll just say I popped in the Discord really quick. Sneakers is not happy about being.
No, I'm
going
to segue off of that, and I want to thank Red. I want to thank Steve, and I just want to say, Sneakers, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Please don't hate me. That's it. Because I see him. He is lighting up in the Discord right now.
All right. I think that's a perfect way to end it. I'll talk to you guys next week. Red, good luck with everything. Red,
I just want to say thank you guys.
Hold on 1 second. Let Red speak.
I don't want to go too long. My bad. It's
okay. It's okay. I just get because I know I'm gonna get shit about it if it runs longer.
Yes, you are.
That's fine though.
I just wanted to thank you guys. I've been a big fan. I think you guys do it the right way. You guys are super positive. You guys enjoy the show. I just love how you guys interact with fans. You guys make new Minifans, which is huge. So thank you guys for having me on. This is great. I'm looking forward to working with you guys in the future, man. I'm a big fan. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Red.
Let's go.
Everybody, I just want to say thank you to you all and peace.
Ciao.